Trauma matters to first responders. The way that I see trauma is in the response of our victims who have been victims of crime and the way that they're able to communicate once they've experienced a frightening event.
We're all a product of our environment, what's happened to us, our past experience, and a lot of times you have to put yourself in someone else's shoes.
If we're able to be aware of the effects that trauma has on a person, that maybe we can help them to get back to their normal, to where they were before they experienced the situation that has affected them.
We had a woman who was crying. She would not explain what had happened to her, but my detectives immediately saw bruising around her neck, on her arms and her legs. And at one point she jumped just at the approach of a non-threatening person. That all is what looks like trauma. Meeting them where they're at allows them to tell you their story the best way that they can. You'll see police officers that will approach somebody and it's just the facts. Who, what, why, where, when. But when you're dealing with a victim of trauma, you have to take a softer approach. The first person to have contact with that victim is not trauma informed. You run the potential of losing all cooperation with that victim. You lose the potential of that victim trusting anybody in the system.
I've been in law enforcement for over 30 years. With us, with trauma as officers, you tend to try and internalize it and not let it affect you or let other people see how it affects you.
I think anybody could come up with any number of traumatic experiences that they've witnessed, they carry with them. From spousal abuse to child abuse to motor vehicle accidents that involve alcohol and drugs. I think we're starting to realize now that we take a lot of that with us as well, so that trauma-informed care needs to be looked at across the spectrum with emergency responders. We definitely carry a lot of that baggage with us. You either personalize it or you try to throw it out of your life, and a lot of firefighters, emergency responders have turned to drugs and alcohol and things to cope with those kind of experiences, and now we're finding that mental health professionals can help us deal with that the way that we need to, so we can also then in turn go out and help the public again. We need the mental help and the trauma-informed care as well.
It's continuous education for everybody. We're all trying to get through life. We're all trying to do what we've been set forth to do. That's, being a lawyer, doctor, police officer, teacher, and understanding the ups and downs of each other's jobs and the stresses of each other's jobs, and just understanding what the job is. Once they see the stuff we're teaching them, be positive on the street and say, hey, this is actually working, that's when you kind of start seeing those walls go down.
Trauma-informed care matters because oftentimes what we're seeing on the surface is not all that there is. We need to, in those cool moments, we need to figure out what is it that's causing this issue so that we can help begin to repair this or resolve this so that this family can begin to heal, so that we aren't getting called out for the same calls, the same situations all the time.
It's a completely different perspective on the way that we look at things. What has happened to them and how can we fix that or improve that for them so they can have a better quality of life, so they don't grow up with things in their background that affect their future, and we can maybe mitigate that by intervening early.
As a community, need to become more informed about people's histories, about what it means to have trauma in your background.
Trauma matters to first responders.
Trauma matters because it shapes the whole person.
You are part of the solution.
Everyone we meet can make a difference.
Trauma matters, Omaha.